Well, I am so glad that you guys are here with me this evening. I am so excited just to have a moment to talk to you. I know that sometimes when you are in the midst of just establishing something from the ground up, or you know that you heard this word that God has given you and you want to see it through, or maybe, just maybe, you have really been waiting and praying and crying out to God, even fasting, putting forth every effort that you can, but for whatever reason, it just seems that the harder you try, the more difficult it can be. And so you find yourself just wavering a little bit in your faith. And so sometimes we give up on our dreams. We give up on that voice that we know we heard God tell us to do this specific thing. And we find ourselves just lost, not really understanding how it would really come to pass, how it would happen. I mean, I know that God says that we should have faith the size of a mustard seed and we can move a mountain, but can we really? I know that God says that our faith is the substance of things that we hope for, evidence of things not seen yet. I know that maybe, just maybe, if I just knew the right people, or if I had that hookup, if I had that connection, maybe my life would have gone a little bit different, and maybe things would have already unfolded, come to pass in my life. I want you to understand that something real quick. That when God is doing something so amazing in your life, so unique, so just supernatural in your life, it takes a little time. It takes a little time for God to prepare us for everything that he has told us that he is going to do in our lives. It takes a little bit of time for him to give us the capacity to withstand everything that comes along with what we know that God has told us to do. Sometimes it takes a little time to give us the temperance that we need so that we could learn how to really sit in our emotions. It takes time for us to develop the emotional mastery enough to learn how to just feel things and not react. It takes a little bit of time for us to grow our roots in the things of the Most High so that when the blessings come, they stay. I want you to understand something too, baby, that it is levels to this. Many, many levels to this. And when you peel back an onion, it's layers before you get to the root of that thing. And when it comes to you, it's layers to you. So many layers to you that God is pulling back, readjusting, resuscitating, making new, making whole, so that you will get your breakthrough. I want to give you a word real quick because I was thinking about y'all tonight. I want to come from the book of Romans 8:30. And the Amplified Version says, and those that he predestined, he called, and those whom he called, he also justified, that is, declared free of the guilt of sin. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. That means raising them to a heavenly dignity. And if we look at the original text in King James 8:30, it specifically states that moreover, who he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, them he also glorified. So as you can see, the way that our Father works is layers to this. He's true to this, baby. He ain't even new to this. It is layers to this. And I think sometimes being in a human frame, we get confused because we want God to go ahead and do what we know that he's called us to do right when we tell him to do it. But if we're not developed enough, we will collapse. We won't be able to withstand the blows of the evil one. We won't be able to withstand everything that comes along with it. It's not a matter of fact it's not even a doubt that it's going to happen. Whatever God has given you in your heart, whatever he has confirmed to you in your mind, in your dreams, and in your spirit, those things will come to pass. It's not if it does. It most definitely will be when you become the version that you need to be in order for you to be equipped to walk through that door. I want you to understand it is levels to this. The first thing that God wants to do is first of all, you have to understand that what the desire that you have, God gave that desire to you. So he has already predestined you for that calling, predestined you for that assignment. That means that he foreknew, he ordained you, okay, to an earthly and eternal lot or destination by divine decree. So based on his idea, the highest expression of an idea that he had in his mind is you, and he decreed it, he declared it, he knew it, he predestined it, he foresaw it. He also knows what he's talking about when it comes to you. And although we get a little bit excited and we want it to happen when we want it to happen, but I want you to understand, just go ahead and type it in the comments, baby. It's going to happen, but it's I get so excited. Shonda, you know what, y'all? I'm not trying to get off subject, but I just get so excited. I need to learn how to pace myself, because when I think about how good God is, everybody still don't know how good God is. So when I think about God, I get excited. But I want you to understand it is layers to this. I want you to type it in the comments, baby. God is going to see you through. He is true to this. He ain't new to this, baby. It is layers to this. So you have to understand that he already predestined you for what you are feeling on the inside of your heart. Number two, I want you to understand that he called you. He shouted your name in the spiritual first, baby, and you heard it. Sometimes when you hear God, you don't hear him like you think you should hear him. Sometimes the voice of God will hit the atmosphere around you and people will fall away from you. People will leave you. People will abandon and forsake you. People will just drop out of your life. You'll go through a crisis. You'll go through a crisis of belief where you could go to the left or to the right. Things will happen and shatter in your life, and you think that it's bad, but it's just the voice of God just hitting the airwaves to call you into the position and posture for what he has predestined for you to do. When he calls you, then what he does is he wakes you up. Sometimes it takes us going through some painful things to shake us and to wake us up. Sometimes it takes us being in situations that was so hellacious and so unbearable and so gut-wrenching. But he uses that. It's his voice that's waking us up. Come on, somebody. He gave you a specific name that's in direct connection to what he has called you to do. He has given you a new name, and he is shaking the earth to wake you up. Number three, I want you to understand this, that he's going to make you righteous in his sight. That means that morally you're going to be right, and you're going to have good conduct, and everything you do reflects the whole image of God. He gives you a spirit to where you do right in the midst of wrong. You're virtuous. He makes you righteous. Number four. Here's the fourth thing that God is going to do. He's going to justify you. That means that he has declared and made you righteous in his sight. He has justified you. You are free from the sin that you may have been in. I know that the devil sometimes wants to keep reminding you of your shortcomings. He wants to keep reminding you with what you struggle with every day. He wants to keep reminding you of the wrongs that you have done. He wants to keep reminding you of what you do not have. He wants to keep reminding you of what everyone else has around you. He wants to keep reminding you of your age and remind you of maybe your disability, or remind you of your poor upbringing, or remind you of things that don't even matter, because God has already justified you though. So it don't even matter. Back to hell you go, Satan. Come on, somebody. And the final thing I want you to understand, what God will do is he will glorify you in the midst of your enemies and everybody who has so much to say about you, everybody who has so much to say about your family, or so much to say about your circumstance, and all the gossip and the backbiting and things that people do. It's okay, baby. They're just blessing you, because that gives God more of a reason to elevate you, to glorify glorify you, okay? To make you glorious so that you represent him in such a way. He's going to elevate you above your circumstances that you're currently in. He's going to elevate you above your enemy. He's going to elevate you above the things that make you question if he's able. He's going to elevate you in such a way that can't nobody say nothing but it was God who did it, so that God can get the glory out of you. He's going to reveal his majesty. He's going to reveal his spirit. He's going to reveal his glory. He's going to reveal his hand in your life by glorifying you. So in return, he can get the glory, period. The glory about what he can do. So I want you to understand that tonight, if you find yourself wondering, how is this going to happen? Why is this happening? How am I going to get through this? Why does this always happen to me? How is it that so many people have so much more than me? How is it that it seems that everybody else is so blessed and I'm so cursed? Why is it that I feel disconnected from everything that God has given me in my mind and in my heart? I know that he's given it to me though, and I just don't know how it's going to happen. I wanted to reach out to you and encourage you this evening to let you know, baby, you don't have to even wreck your mind about how it's going to happen. What you need to do is just buy into the idea that it's going to happen. Because one thing is for certain, those who he predestined, he called. And those whom he called, he also justified. And those whom he justified, he also glorified. So that he can get the glory in your story. I want you to understand that God is not new to it. He's true to it. And it is layers and it is levels to it. So sit back, relax, unwind, take a breath, and let God be God and give him the space to do what he was created to do for you. I love you guys. Peace. And I still be. Don't you be doubting. Believe in you. Good night.